You Can't Stop the Big Bad Boogie by Tim Knapman and Tom Knight. Once upon a time, in a faraway land, a massive dragon ate a boogie. It wasn't any old boogie. It was the big bad boogie, the naughtiest boogie in the world. In the dragon's tummy, the big bad boogie met a good little boogie that the dragon had eaten for breakfast. The good little boogie said, "Please don't do anything naughty." But the big bad boogie went bouncing around, tickling and twisting things just to show him. And the big bad boogie sang, "You can't stop the big bad boogie, the big bad boogie, the big bad boogie. You can't stop the big bad boogie having all the fun in the world." This gave the dragon a thumping tummy ache, so that she sent both boogies flying out of her mouth in a fiery blurp. "I asked you nicely," yelled the good little boogie as they shot frazzled and fizzling through the air. "Ha ha ha!" laughed the big bad boogie, but his bottom was boiling hot, so he splashed down into the ugly duckling's pond, where the ugly duckling had just told everyone that when he grew up he was going to be a beautiful swan. But instead, the big bad boogie squished him flat with a hissing sizzle. "What are you going to be when you grow up?" asked the other ducklings. "Disgusting," said the good little boogie. "Ha ha ha!" laughed the big bad boogie, but he was all wet, so he went bouncing over to Rapunzel's tower. "Don't you dare dry yourself on her lovely hair," warned the good little boogie. "Ha ha!" laughed the big bad boogie, and he grabbed the good little boogie, and they both went sliding down it. "Hey, handsome prince, aren't you going to climb up my hair?" asked Rapunzel. "Yuck! Not now it's had boogies in it," replied handsome prince with a shudder. "Look what you've done," said the good little boogie, but the big bad boogie just went bouncing over too. Snow White's house, where the wicked queen was about to give Snow White the poisoned apple. "That's not an apple," said Snow White. "No," snapped the good little boogie, "it's a very naughty boogie." "A talking boogie!" shrieked the wicked queen, and she ran away screaming. "So who's going to poison me now?" said Snow White crossly. "It's a very important part of my story." The good little boogie grabbed the big bad boogie. "You're not going to ruin any more stories," he said. The big bad boogie tried to struggle free, and the two boogies went rolling and wrestling through the forest. They smashed up the witch's gingerbread house, knocked down the giant beanstalk, and burst into a castle where the big bad boogie grabbed Beast from Beauty and started dancing with him. "Oi!" said Beauty. "Ha ha ha!" said big bad boogie. "It's not funny. You have been enormously naughty. You have spoiled everything, and you should feel very ashamed indeed. Do you know that boogies don't have to be horrible? You could be caring and thoughtful and kind, just like me," snapped the good little boogie. That made the big bad boogie think. Maybe if he was caring and thoughtful and kind, the good little boogie would be his friend. Then they could play sweet games together, and eat neatly and make daisy chains, and sometimes even help old boogies cross the street. There was just one problem. The big bad boogie didn't want to, so he jumped up and down singing, "You can't stop the big bad boogie, the big bad boogie, the big bad boogie. You can't stop the big bad boogie having all the fun in the world." Then he bounced off to have billions more horrible adventures, because nothing could stop the big bad boogie. Well, nothing except being sat on by a big bad bottom.
We hope you enjoyed the story. Subscribe and we'll see you next time for one more book.